Social entertainment is really the desire by consumers to interact and engage with the entertainment they consume. So what does that mean? That means watching a television show and connecting with friends on Twitter or on Facebook, getting their comments, getting their recommendations. A lot of it is about multitasking, but a lot of it is really about having a relationship with the entertainment that they engage with. And it's no longer, what we started to see in this study is that it's no longer a nice to have, but it's very much an expectation. I think there were a couple of things. So one was something that we're calling entertainment fragmentation. So not surprising, we've heard a lot about media fragmentation, but what we saw, particularly in this study, was how the same phenomenon is happening within the entertainment industry. More people are looking at more types of entertainment on a myriad of different devices and interacting with it in a number of different ways. So I think that was one finding. And you know, the internet was referred to as the second source of entertainment for a lot of people, and the results were dramatic in the UK and even more dramatic in the US, where people referred to television less, people referred to film dramatically less, but internet stayed stable in both countries. And this evolution from the internet, from a source of information to a source of entertainment, is actually really significant and really speaks to the internet's role in today's world of entertainment. So I'd say the notion of entertainment fragmentation was certainly one finding. Another finding was really people's expressed desire to interact and engage with the entertainment that they watch. They want to be able to engage and interact in real time. They want to be able to connect with the entertainment via their cell phone while watching it on television. And one of the most interesting phenomenons that touch on that is how this notion of social entertainment is actually affecting the content that we see. The simultaneous nature of consuming entertainment while you're fiddling with your iPad or your cell phone has actually had an effect on the actual content. So what do I mean by that? Well, in Hollywood, for instance, a lot of the studio executives are really struggling with how to maintain audience interest in a world where everybody's multitasking. And as a result, fewer complex TV shows are being developed. They're tailoring the content, knowing how people are consuming it, knowing how people want to consume it. That's really interesting. Did Ashton Kutcher, was he chosen to replace Charlie Sheen on 2.5 Men because he has 7 million Twitter followers? But interesting examples of how it's affecting content. I think another finding that was really interesting is how the definition of entertainment is expanding. People really see now social networking as a form of entertainment, and not just a form of entertainment, but actually the most highly valued form of entertainment, the entertainment that people perceive to have the most value. Value in all of the other forms of entertainment has gone down, according to the respondents, but not social networking. And it's interesting because it really begs the question, you know, how has the industry, both entertainment and technology, really defined what the value proposition is for a lot of entertainment that they put out today? Well, I think, and we touched a little bit on this in the presentation today, is, you know, Hollywood in particular. If you go back to the music, what happened with the music industry and the introduction of the iPod, it was really Silicon Valley who solved the struggle over the music industry and how people were going to get and pay for that music. It wasn't Hollywood itself. And I think now what you're beginning to see are ways in which traditional entertainment companies are actually very much want to engage with their audiences and coming up with platforms in which to do so, and designing shows that are very interactive in nature, not just with social media tools on the side, but actually an integral part of the show itself. That's pretty breakthrough for Hollywood, and I think all companies are paying notice to that. So not surprising to anyone, we found that people aren't really happy with moving from a free model to a paywall. Okay, no big surprise. But it does sort of beg the question about how the industry has articulated the proposition of paywall. So in the US, and I think in this country as well, much has been made about the paywall in terms of how to preserve the media industry, how to preserve the entertainment industry, ending up in sort of the business section on the papers, if you will. But yet, where has the story been told about the consumer proposition? What do you get for that money? What is the value articulated? And I think that represents a huge opportunity for the industry. One of the other things, talking about some of the messages that, the industry, both entertainment and technology, should think about when trying to reach consumers, is we ask people, what are your purchase driver decisions? And obviously on top came, picture, sound and picture quality, and that's really understandable. But what we found was that there was a vast difference between what was driving consumer purchase intent and some of the messages that the industry was putting forward. So in other words, when we hear often from the technology and entertainment industries about the number of devices that I can watch something on, or the ability to share my video, that ended up not being major purchase decision drivers for consumers. And that was really interesting to see, is the industry giving consumers, talking about the right proposition for consumers in terms of what they want to hear.